All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking real music in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. So it's a new year, and apparently Grand Funk Railroad has put out a help wanted sign. I'll get to that. Before I do, here is the band Attack and their album Nine Lives. This is just top notch, blues oriented, blues ish, Bad Company ish, Deep Purple, uh, during like the Jolyn Turner era, I would say, kind of mashed together. Probably more Bad Company than Deep Purple, but this is just classic rock that should be played on classic rock radio stations. The band Attack with one T and their album Nine Lives. Just top notch. It finished way up the charts in my melodic rock top 20 for 2023. Now, Bruce Kulick has pulled the plug on his career, at least with Grand Funk Railroad. He just turned 70 years old. He was in Grand Funk for 23 years. He wants to do different things. I think he's citing all of the travel, which ends up happening on the weekends every month, all year round. And so, yeah, he decided to just step away from Grand Funk. He says, I think many of my fans were aware that for the last 23 years, if they really studied my career, I've been performing with Grand Funk Railroad. Now, some of his fans just remember his stint with Kiss, who just retired the human version of the band. But avatars are coming. They should make a Bruce Kulick avatar, right? I would. I mean, Bruce is a beast, man. So I was just thinking. So Grand Funk Railroad needs to hire a guitarist, right? Well, who's out there who might be available to replace Bruce Kulick? I'm thinking, how about Mark Farner? How about a full-blown reunion and a farewell tour for Grand Funk Railroad? Now, look, you've got a great band over there at Grand Funk Incorporated. Not as good as they would be with the great Mark Farner. And I get it. Don Brewer, Mark Farner, the bass player whose name eludes me here, who is really responsible for, it's Mel, was it Mel Shacker? Is that how you say it? I'm probably butchering his name. But he was instrumental, figuratively, literally, in giving Grand Funk their unique bass attack, especially in the early days. It was almost like they were playing lead bass in the 70s. And a lot of people have forgotten about how great Grand Funk is. A lot of focus testing has come along, and it's eliminated. I mean, no one's going to be playing Closer to Home. It's too long of a song, right? I haven't heard Bad Time on the radio in, like, I don't know, since I worked at a classic rock station. I know probably it gets played if you have a satellite channel that you listen to, it might get played. But terrestrial radio has pretty much abandoned most of the Grand Funk catalog, and really totally a shame. But with Bruce exiting, you would think maybe, the phone might ring. It might be Irving Azoff, and there might be some money on the table for a full-blown Mark Farner Grand Funk farewell tour. I mean, Mark Farner, I believe, is 75 years old. Footage last year, I've watched Mark Farner's American Band. For a guy his age, he's got more energy than most people my age, all right? And he looks great. He sounds great. He's still playing great. So I know there's so much animosity. And I know recently Mark Farner, I think, went off on the situation. Currently, the band has a great singer by the name of Max Carl. You might remember Max from his time with 38 Special, Second Chance, which, by the way, if you go see Grand Funk They do Second Chance, and they might even do The Sound of Your Voice, which was another big AOR song featuring Max Carl. Max is a great singer. He's just in between uh, Mark Farner and Don Brewer, basically. And a lot of people who go see this band probably don't know the backstory, although this has such a backstory. If you don't know it, it's because you're a very casual fan. So Bruce Kulick, after 23 years, basically deciding that he's been on the road too long. And this also is part of this narrative, folks, where classic rock is going away. You know, who are they going to replace Bruce Kulick with? Now, I'm certain they're going to replace Bruce with someone, but it's not going to be Mark Farner, but this would be a huge opportunity. Again, closure for all these fans. I don't think Mark would do it because he's just so mad, and I don't blame him for being as mad as he is. And his American band goes out there and kicks butt, but you know, you don't have Don and you don't have Mel. So I think a lot of fans are still thinking, hey, just one more time, boys, you could do this. So anyway, Bruce Kulick talks a little bit about what happened during the Thingdemic. It says here it gave him an opportunity to sit back and do nothing or just jump into a million things. So he enjoyed his life not being on the road. I know there are people who enjoy what they do, but they hate the road, right? And this is what Bruce Kulick is saying here. There are some bands, it's just amazing what they do still in their advanced years. Like right now, Chicago, at least the three original guys from Chicago who are still going. I don't know how they do it. Last year, they had this brutal tour, and I didn't really talk about it. And apparently, it all went off without a hitch. And fans have been flocking to go see them. And I'm thinking next year or this year, now that we're in this year and it isn't last year or next year, I'm confusing myself here. Anyway, I'm thinking they're out with Earth, Wind, and Fire again. So 20 years ago, I think they did that, and it was a huge success. So we'll see. But in the case of Grand Funk, I mean, Bruce was definitely a draw to the band, and now he's not going to be there. So it'll be interesting to see how they plug that hole. And again, if I'm a promoter and I have deep pockets, this might be the time to just pay everyone off and say, you know what? You don't even have to like one another. Just get on stage again and thrill the fans. The fans are going to be really happy to see you all again with Mark and Mel and Don, and then just wrap things up. Everybody's getting kind of old, I know. All of them. Was it Don? I think might be the oldest, but Mark is 75, so who knows? I mean, we're talking about a band from another era, which is still roaming around and calling themselves Grand Funk, right? And again, with all apologies to Max Carl, who should be invited to hang around with 38 Special. That's what I would do with him. Don Barnes, Max Carl. You could do a few Max Carl songs and he could leave, and then Don Barnes could come out. And I think that would work really well and give 38 Special fans like a bigger show, you know. As far as Grand Funk Railroad, you start to lose your identity and people are just there to hear the music, and you become kind of like a cover band rather than the, you know, authentic sounding like Grand Funk kind of band. And people forget Grand Funk, they were bigger than the Beatles for a year or two. They were so big. It's just, I mean, the stadiums that they filled up, the radio airplay during the 70s was just, it was insane. If you didn't live through that, I understand. I was just a little dude at the time, but my older brother and older sister, Grand Funk. I mean, it was in their record collection. They had the 8 tracks, and it was a big deal. So, in any event, folks, before I leave, one more attack here. 9 Lives. You got to check this out if you like Bad Company or Deep Purple, kind of like the Joe Lynn Turner era of Deep Purple. It's just phenomenal music that deserves to get some attention. Also, this channel needs attention as well. I'm tired of begging for money. I'm just sad that YouTube does this stuff where your income just arbitrarily goes up and then they just pull the rug right out. I am making less right now as far as doing this channel than I did back in 2017. So, and that's really the year that this channel started to take off. And I don't know what happened to their system. I don't know if it's me. I'm not doing videos in the backyard. Maybe I should go back to doing that. But in any event, folks, I want to say thank you to all the patrons. I did get a few new patrons, which was different. Usually I lose a bunch of people at the beginning of a new month. This time I gained a few. I may have lost some, but I gained back more than I've lost. So if you can hang in there, $1 a month if you're already doing your part. Also, YouTube memberships, you get early video watching privileges. So that's a little perk for being a YouTube member. And as I always say, pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world. 2024 is going to be crazy. So buckle up and get yourself some good music and maybe a good book and just relax and try to enjoy life.